Amrabat man. Amrabat man. Amrabat man. Amrabat man. Get in there, my son. Come on, somebody put up the searchlight. Because we're going to get our hero. Well, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. We know what United are like. Bottle merchants in the transfer window. But look, guys, we've got lots to get into today. Thank you very much to everybody for joining us. We're going to get into the latest transfer news and goings on with Manchester United. Thank you very much to everybody for getting in here for the afternoon show today. How are we all doing today? Welcome aboard the Bacon Express. Plenty of great news to discuss. We will discuss it. So everybody, thank you for getting in. Let's see who we've got. We've got Phil Berry, Daniel, Andrew, United 90, Furcan, Alan, what's going on? Hawg, Compost Smurf, we've got Get In There Larry, Mark N is in here, John Boy Cat, how you doing? James Smith, Liam, United 90, DJ Superfly Guy. Hey, what's going on there, Beats Guy? Nice one, we'll get into that a bit later on, my son. Beats Guy, get in there, how you doing? Good to see you. Mark Coughlin, The Mustard, Philip Chapman, Bat Goose, Berserker, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Gungshi, get in there, you Don. Kieran, all the legends getting in here. James, Danny, B, United Technical Talk. Everyone, thanks for joining us, guys. We got plenty to discuss today. Do us a favour at the start of this show and smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. Oh shit, I dropped my phone. Give us a massive thumbs up at the start of this show if you haven't done so. Drop a like on it. You know it makes sense. We've got 100 legends already in here waiting. So smash the like button on it and help us get to 100 likes. You know it makes sense. Thank you everyone who's here, by the way, and getting involved with the show. We will have a Q&A at the end. But for now, we're going to discuss the latest transfer news. Give us a share around as well if you want. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat there on Twitter. You can give us a repost over there on Twitter, and we will shout you out a bit later on in the show. You know it makes sense. Okay, guys, let's discuss it. Amrabat man is looking likely that he's could be joining Manchester United before the end of the deadline day, guys. Let's get into the news. So, David Ornstein earlier on reporting that Manchester United are currently working on a deal to bring in Mr. Sofyan Amrabat, which is nice. We're working on a deal to sign Sofyan. Man United hope to make Fiorentina midfielder on loan, though. Take him on loan rather than a permanent move due to FFP. Oh, my God. Ryan Gravenberch is among other options, but the Morocco international is the top target, and the 27-year-old wants a move to Manchester United. Get in there, my son. Come on, United. Finally, we're actually going in and having proper discussions, it seems now, with Fiorentina. Exactly what we need in that midfield area. Bring in Sofyan Amrabat. He's got the technicalities that we're looking for in that centre of the park there, really. Gives us something different. Play alongside Cassie, play instead of Cassie. Combative, great passer, technical, etc. Much better than those Shart Merchant, Shotty McShotbag, McColostomy Bag, McTominay, or Fred, who's obviously departed. So this would be an excellent bit of business if United can get this deal done. It does look like maybe we're exploring the possibility of a loan deal with Fiorentina, which, you know, is just classic Manchester United here, cheaping out as best as we can. I guess Fiorentina are in a kind of tricky position, though, because Fiorentina know that this player wants to go. They know that he's not got his head in the game over there at Fiorentina, and he's not even training with the squad or playing the games with the team. So therefore, like, they are kind of bent over a barrel a little bit there. If they're not going to do a loan deal, they're not going to do some sort of a move that Sofyan Amrabat wants, then what are they going to do? Just stick with a player who doesn't actually want to be there? It's not ideal for them. So from a Fiorentina standpoint, maybe they would be open to doing this deal, especially if there's a meaty fee up front and then perhaps an option to buy down the line as well. Maybe they'd be interested in doing it. If I was Fiorentina, I wouldn't want to do it because you'd want to get the money up front to be able to reinvest in other players to get a suitable replacement in there. But look, Fabrizio has said that that is the case, that he's not training with the squad. We know that much. This is from Fab just an hour or so ago, that says that Sofyan Amrabat again won't be part of Fiorentina's squad for the game versus Rapid Vienna. Decision made. Manchester United won't train with the first squad or play. He only wanted to wait to the move to Manchester United, obviously, since the end of June. And Fiorentina's still waiting for United's bid. So it looks like it could be a loan deal that we're going in for. But as we've mentioned, Ornstein reporting that we are in talks now with Fiorentina to get him in there. Come on, my son, get in there. We've been talking about this all summer long. If we can get him, it would be an excellent midfielder to acquire before the window closes to just help us for the season. That's what we need. Somebody different. And that way we'd go into the season with a good few options. We'd have Casemiro, Amrabat, Kobbie Mainoo can all play there, those deeper roles. And then, of course, we've got Mason Mount and Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. That's better than the kick in the anus, guys. So I'm pretty happy with that, guys, if we can get him done. We've got obviously working on it at the moment. Loads of different outlets reporting that is the case. Sky says that United are in talks with Fiorentina over signing Sofyan Amrabat right now. Everyone's reporting this case that we are discussing this possibility. Get in there, my son. Samuel Luckhurst reporting that United are at the moment trying to do a late deal for Sofyan Amrabat. It's just classic piss poor United, though, isn't it? We have to wait until literally the end of the close of the transfer window before we start doing anything. Start panicking, start getting a little bit itchy, when we could have done this a long time ago. I suppose it just comes down to economics for United. We're always trying to scrimp and save any which way we can. And if we can make Fiorentina sweat by making them wait until the last dying embers of the transfer window just to save a couple of £1 million, then by God, we will do that. Because that's what United are all about, is just trying to scrimp and save and cheap out and put the pressure on these other teams, even if it risks losing these deals just to save a little bit of cash. We're gash in that sense, guys. But look, obviously, we've been talking about this for what seems like the best part of the transfer window for the summer now. Sofyan Amrabat, potential to Manchester United. It's getting closer. United are now in deep discussions with Fiorentina about the possibility of bringing him on a loan move with perhaps an option to buy. I'll ask the live chat though, do Manchester United get this deal for Sofyan Amrabat done before deadline day? Get a yes or a no in there. Come on, I'm going to say yes, guys. We need that midfielder. It's a glaring hole in that midfield that we've seriously got at the moment, especially if we have any injury concerns, any issues. It'll be a nightmare. I mean, I still think a permanent transfer is what we should be looking to do, but it does seem like United are cheaping out and just want to try and get this guy on loan, just like we're getting Cucurella on loan as well. I mean, we'll have a little look and see what's going on in regards to this deal. It might be a permanent deal as the news does come out. But it does look like maybe we're exploring a loan capacity move at the moment. John Boy says yes. Yes, Ramadan says yes. Gungshi says yes. Yes, hopefully, says Prince Ramsey. Yes, says Hawk. Get in there, my son. Yes, says Philip. Yes, says Alan. Yes, says Rajon. No, says Sonny Igbins. Okay, well, most people in the live chat seemingly quite optimistic about us bringing in Sofyan Amrabat. I am too. Yes, as Ornstein's reported here, there's other options. Ryan Gravenberch is among the other options. Maybe those deals could be done if you can see maybe he's Scotty McShotty McColostomy bag going in the opposite direction, possibly going over there to Bayern Munchen. We know that they've got some interest in Scott McTominay. But if not, then a loan move for Amrabat makes a lot of sense. Permanent move also makes a lot of sense. I don't understand why we have to worry too much about FFP when you see other teams not worrying too much about it. It's not like we haven't sold any players this summer. I mean, we are moving players on. We are generating some cash back. I mean, look, we've got news and reports coming out today that the deal for Henderson is about to close, and that they're going to unveil him today. So we've got a report from Fab that says that Crystal Palace are expecting to unveil Dean Henderson as a new signing today after the medical is completed. Man United to receive £15 million plus the £5 million in add-ons down the line. Alte Bayender in Manchester is set to sign and become his replacement. So look, obviously, he's going to cost a few million, but that means we've got quite a bit of cash just to bank there. Surely we can put that towards a permanent transfer for somebody like Sofyan Amrabat, not to mention the money we got back for players like Fred and Elanga and a bunch of others as well. So I don't really understand this whole, Man United have to adhere to FFP and we can't go in for a permanent transfer. Sofyan Amrabat's not an £80 million player. We're talking about £25 million, £30 million at tops to bring in Sofyan Amrabat, and we can't afford that now. What's the matter with us? We've only spent 170 so far this window, and I haven't done the maths and worked out exactly what we've recouped, but our net spend is, definitely nowhere near even 150 million. It's, 120 million, 100 million, who knows? We'd have to have a look at all of the individual players, but most of them have gone for peanuts. But Elanga was a significant fee, Fred, Henderson, our net spend's probably closer to about 120 mil. That's pathetic from Manchester United, really, if we can't go and sign another player for 30 mil. What sort of lack of investment is that? What a load of bollocks. Hello there, Sing Games. How you doing? By the way, everybody, if you're getting in here, smash that thumbs up button on it. Help us get to 200 likes on the show. Drop a little like on it. That'd be immense. You know it makes sense. Give us a like, Spike. It takes a second to drop a like, and it's free. So do hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Twat the likes, and that'd be awesome. Yeah, I know, Sing Games. I'm an absolute amateur hour, mate. I'm an amateur hour, bud. I'm a complete melt. I'm just going to get that off there, mate. You're right. I probably have put the wrong retweets thing there, brud. Yeah, we need to do something about the colour scheme there as well. I'm melting. We've got 100 likes. That's awesome. Fire up. Thank you so much, everybody, indeed, for getting in here and smashing the likes button. Yes, nice one. If you're new to the channel, by the way, guys, hit the subscribe button. Look at that. We're creeping up. We're only 18 people away from getting to the next mini milestone of 73,600 subscribers on this YouTube channel, which is mental. In fact, now we're only 17 away there, my friends. So hit the subscribe button if you're new. Get yourself in here and say hello and have your say. I'm just going to dip into the live chat for a couple of minutes about to just gauge the initial reaction to this Amrabat news. Obviously, we'll cover the rest of the transfer news. We've still got good information about other players to discuss that United are going for, but we'll cover the Cucurella stuff and see what comes out in the next sort of half an hour or so about that as well. There is obviously Amrabat news taking place at this moment in time that could be coming out through the, through swinging on in on the vine during this show. So we will cover that. But let's just see what you legends are saying about this. Good afternoon, the Mog. How you doing there? What's going on? The Amrabat news is that we have submitted an offer in some capacity, a loan deal. It looks like we are working on a move, at least, with Fiorentina for a potential loan move at this stage. We'll see if that's accepted. It may well be rejected because, you know, there may well be rejection just simply because they might want to sell him on a permanent capacity, as we've mentioned. So I think Di Marzio over in Italia reporting that maybe there's an issue there that Fiorentina don't want to let him go on loan. And I think that would make sense because surely they want to get some money up front to be able to reinvest before the deadline day closes to get a suitable replacement. And if you're talking about a loan deal, well, the initial fee's not going to be too much, is it? It's just going to be, you know, a token amount of money, a few million. So it's unlikely that they'd be able to do much in terms of spending to sign a new replacement player. So they might want to be holding out for a permanent transfer. But United, as I've mentioned, should be capable of doing that anyway. If we can't get a loan deal done for him, we need to get a permanent transfer done for him. I mean, we've got Fiorentina in a bit of a tricky position right now, as I mentioned, because Fiorentina know that Amrabat doesn't want to be there. They know that he's got his sights set on Manchester United. And they can't ask for an absolute fortune because otherwise they're going to have a player there who doesn't want to be there. So I think it's very clear that we are in quite a strong position. They're obviously holding out probably for a permanent transfer as well. So, you know, you've just got to hope and wait that Man United can agree some sort of a deal with them. Enigma Owl, thank you so much for getting in here, by the way. I really do appreciate that, guys. Everybody, please, can we get some love hearts in there for Enigma Owl? He has just made a new member of the channel. Thank you so much to you, my friend. It's gone to John Boy Cat, has become a new sponsor, courtesy of Enigma Owl. Thank you very much there, dude. I appreciate that. Everyone, get some love in there. Thanks for gifting out a membership on the channel there and supporting the show, and also making John Boy Cat's dreams come true there and re-upping his membership for him. You're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed. Do appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Everyone, Enigma Owl, thank you very much for the generosity. That's kind. Get in there, you legend. Hoo, 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 hoo. Enigma Owl doing all sorts there. Vincent Bullock's got his highlighted comment in here. He's been a member for 11 months. Get in, Vinny. Says Manchester United have just tweeted PFA Fans Player of the Year 2022-23 season is Marcus Rashford, who is the Flying Pig United channel player of the season. Who is the Fly? Right. Yeah, Vincent Bullock. Nice one, mate. Yeah, I think Rashford probably got Man United's player of the season last season, didn't he? That makes sense, lad. Sir Matt Busby Award as well. You know, Vincent Bullock, nice one, mate. Thank you for letting us know. I appreciate you, Mr. Bullock, lad. Get in there. Good man. Good man. And thanks for being a member for 11 months. United, we stand getting in here and gifting out a membership on the channel as well. It's all going off. People are starting to buzz due to the Amrabat news. People have set their boobies to buzz. Bzz, and they're starting to buzz the tits off about this potential transfer, mate. Get in there. Amrabat, man. Anyway, no, thank you, United. We stand for gifting out a membership there, bro. Mr. Leo G has got it. He's the lucky individual that has received the free membership there, courtesy of United We Stand. Thank you so much to United We Stand there. Get in there, bro. Very, very kind of you. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Couple of new subscribers as well here. Check this out. We've got the Voice of Reason and Venti has subscribed to the channel. Nice one, guys. If you guys are new, make sure you subscribe. Get your thoughts and opinions in. You do need to be subbed to chat, but you only need to be subbed for 1 second. So please do that. Anyway, right, guys. So we're waiting for more news. Let me just pop this up on the screen, actually. Jarvis Cocker, thank you very much for getting this report from Di Marzio in there. This is the report that I was mentioning that have come back that's come out very recently. Fiorentina's holding firm on the Amrabat front. Thank you, Jarvis, for this, mate. He says the Viola have rejected all the loan offers received in Florence, including a further offer that United has made in the last few hours. Right, so that is very interesting news, isn't it, as we were discussing a few moments ago. Thank you, Jarvis, for that. So, yes, it does seem like Fiorentina would be more interested in, well, I guess, permanent transfer, but also maybe they want more money up front. This is how these loan deals work, isn't it? You've got to make an offer that they can't refuse. They either have to get a significant fee up front, all wages covered, of course, and then a potential to sell him in a year's time, i.e. an option to buy, or even an obligation to buy might be what's needed to get this deal done if you can't afford to get this permanent transfer done right now, which I don't see why we can't. But if that's the case, then maybe an obligation to buy is what's needed. But as I mentioned, they would like to receive cash up front to be able to reinvest that in another player before deadline day. Surely that's the case. So they're holding out probably for a permanent transfer because they know that they can get £25 million, i.e. 30 million euros for Sofian Amrabat right now on a permanent move. United, I don't see why we've not got the cash. But I'll ask the chat on that one very quickly as well. Let's put that to the chat. Do you think we'll end up bringing in Sofian Amrabat on a loan move or a permanent transfer? Loan or transfer? Get your thoughts and opinions in. I still think it will be a transfer. I don't know why we've got to cheap out and be a complete bunch of melters and try and get all of our players on loan now. If our net spend's probably about 120 mil. You know, why are we so skint that we have to get everybody in on loan now? Our net spend's not that much. Yes, we've got Onana, Mount and Højlund, but we've also sold Elanga, Fred, Henderson, a lot of players. Our net spend's closer to 100 million than anything else. That's piss poor investment from us, really. We should be investing a lot more than that. So I don't see why it couldn't be a permanent move. And if that's what Fiorentina want, surely that's what we've got to do. Surely we can't leave this deal for Sofian Amrabat just because we may not be able to get a deal done in a loan capacity. Phil Barry says permanent. Berber says a loan. Embarrassing. Alan says permanent transfer. Amrabat has rejected Nottingham. Loan says Rob. Permanent says Duncan Belifo. Loan says Philip Chapman. Loan probably because of the Glazers. Well, FFP, aka the Glazers, that's it. So obviously the Glazers are a big issue here. FFP, I know FFP apparently. I don't buy it. I just do not buy it. There's ways that we can rebalance things at United here. I just don't buy this. What a load of old nonsense. Exactly. How can Man City, with all those FFP charges, can buy so many players? Exactly, mate. What's that all about? You're absolutely right, Shango. How about Chelsea? I know Chelsea have sold a lot of players this summer as well and generated a lot of cash back. But even so, you look at their spend over the last 2-3 years, it's a joke. Oh, they're putting players on 8-year contracts to get around these rules in some ways. I mean, it's just an absolute joke. Only has 1 year left on his contract, says Adam. Permanent, says Furkan Aaron. We can pay 15 million to Amrabat. Jarvis says no on the loan. Amrabat only has 1 year left with an obligation for another year. So worst case for Fiorentina, he can go on a free in the summer. Yes, spot on. So I think a permanent transfer does make the most sense for all parties involved. What I think this is an exercise in futility for Manchester United to squeeze the deal down on the price as much as we can. We've seen it happen loads of times before in the past. United are quite happy to let this go until deadline day to make Fiorentina realise that they could have a want-away player on their hands stuck for the season and who could leave in a year's time if they are not prepared to do the business with United right now for decent money. And what I mean by decent money is cheap money for Manchester United. So 20 mil, 25 mil. In terms of pounds might be the deal to get this done. So, okay, the loan deal, I guess, is still on the cards. We've heard from people like David Ornstein here that says that United are working on a loan deal. So Ornstein says United working on a deal to sign Sofian Amrabat. Man United hope to take the Fiorentina midfielder on loan rather than a permanent move due to FFP. Ryan Gravenberch is among other options, but the Morocco international is the top target, and he wants to move to Old Trafford. So I think that's pretty clear, really. I think we are maybe exploring the possibility of a loan, but if Fiorentina, as maybe Gianluca Di Marzio has said, are not interested in that, if they've knocked that back, surely we've got to still go and try and get him in a permanent capacity. Get in there, my son. Amrabat and Cucurella in. Here we go. Get in there, Alan. Yes, it's looking like we can possibly get those two in. I think that would actually be a couple of really good acquisitions. It's still not quite what we need. It's still not a great transfer window. I'll put that back to the chat, though. It's an interactive show. Let's hear what you guys are saying about it. So if we manage to bring in Amrabat and Cucurella, let's say that Amrabat is a permanent transfer, and let's say that Cucurella's a loan. How do you rate Man United's overall transfer window out of 10 if we get those two in before deadline day? Get your thoughts in. I'm going to give us a 5. I still don't think it's very ambitious by Manchester United this window. I honestly don't think it's all that. 3 says Ian Pritch, 3 says Matty Smith, 4 says Nathan, 5 says Kieran, 5 says Mouse, 4 says Keith Lard, 5 says Compost, 3 says Duncan, 4 says Wolcar, 5 says United, 3 says DJ Superfly, Bugger says 10, surprised we've got anyone, Claire's going 4, Voice of Reason says 4, Berber says 4, not good enough quality and not enough outs. Great point, Berber. Yeah, I just wanted to discuss that actually. So it's not just about bringing players in that actually makes this a good transfer window. See, if we'd have got rid of more players, i.e. we did sell Maguire to West Ham, we did sell Scott McTominay to West Ham, then we would have probably got more ins, which makes this transfer window a lot better. Plus, it's just getting rid of some of the hangers-on, some of the Klingons at this football club. So it would have been a lot more of a nicer looking transfer window with players like Greenwood, Maguire, McTominay, all of those guys going, generating £90 million, which we could have then gone and reinvested a little bit of and gone and ended up bringing in, you know, a Marcus Leonardo or a number 9 and a centre-back like Jean-Claire Todibo. So it could have been a really good transfer window, but as it is right now, because there's not enough outs and it seems like we have to sell players to spend money and bring players in, it's not a good enough window. 3 says Nas, 4.69 says Kingslayer, 5 says Afulu, 4 says Ramadan Ibrahim. Yeah, I saw that, to be honest with you, John. John, welcome in. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Get in there, my son. He says, Man City signing Nunes. Yes, baby. Get out. Man City, how can they sign all these players? They've got Doku as well. Nunes, you know, what's going on? Why don't they have to adhere to FFP? I believe this discussion about Manchester United having to adhere to FFP is more or less just nonsense. Net spend of about 120 million right now, and we could have sold a few more, sure, but we can invest more than that. Why is it that Manchester shitty scumbags are able to spend big money and bring in a lot of players? Chelsea are able to do so. Arsenal are able to do so. A lot of teams are able to do so. But Man United don't have the ability to spend the most in the league. We should be spending the most in the league out of everybody, with where we finished last season, 3rd, trying to close the gap with Manchester City, who finished 1st, having that, fan base and support and commercial revenue that Manchester United do. We should be outspending everybody, really. Doesn't matter about sugar daddy owners and things like that. If there's FFP in place, we should be capable of outspending everybody because we generate the most. So this is a shambles, really. But John, you're obviously clearly a Man City scumbag. Thank you for getting in here. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us and getting in here. You know, the Glazer shithouses won't spend. That's what it really comes down to, Gungchi. It's the Glazer shithouses. I think they're trying to basically protect themselves under the guise of FFP. This whole PR guff coming out to suggest that, you know, it's down to FFP why we haven't spent the money. No, it's down to us having absolutely, you know, it is FFP. It is FFP the reason why we can't spend, but the FFP stands for fucking philandering pricks as owners. You know what I'm saying? I think philandering spelt with a P, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. That's the put up making FFP, yeah. The fucking pricks at the top of the club that own this football club. That's what the FFP means. But anyway, thank you very much there, Gongshi. I appreciate you getting in there with that. Glazer shithouses. Let's get a hashtag Glazers out in the live chat, everyone, please. Do get a hashtag Glazers out because it is a disgrace and a nonsense. That's a good one as well, Berber. Fat fucking parasites. That one's better, to be honest. Let's go with that. It's down to the FFP. Flip-flopping penises. That's also a good one. Fire up. See, so maybe it is down to FFP, but the FFP doesn't stand for financial fair play. It stands for flip-flopping penises, guys. So I reckon that's true. It's probably down to the Glazer shithouses being just complete scumbags. Hey, we're only 9 subscribers away now from 73,600. If you're new to the show and want to get involved, smash the subscribe, drop that like on it, share it around. I'm going to move on to the Cucurella news now, guys. So thanks for getting in the chat and giving your thoughts and opinions there about the Amrabat deal and will it, won't it happen, loan, permanent move, etc. Thanks for getting into that. We will, of course, have a Q&A at the end of the show as well, so you can have your chance to get your thoughts in about Amrabat again shortly. But right now, I'm just going to move on to Cucurella, because that's another player that we are close to getting a deal done for. This one is a loan deal, we know that much. And at the moment, it's known that Cucurella is very close to joining Manchester United. Get in there, my son. So Fabrizio reporting that Marc Cucurella is close to joining Manchester United on loan. Thanks for another super chat here, John. He says, Gvardio, Doku, Kovac, now Nunes will win the league. Just get out. To be fair, you'd probably have won the league without signing anybody. Based on the fact you did the treble last season. Yeah, you had a couple of players go out. But, you know, just get out. We don't want to know about your Manchester City acquisitions, you cheating bastards. Let's be fair, the only reason you're winning things, the only reason you're able to sign these players is because of outright sugar daddy cheating, mate, overinflation of incomes, outright FFP cheating. So please, don't get any City scum comments in the live chat. I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's a disgrace and a nonsense. Anyway, thank you for getting in there with that. I appreciate you. Exactly. Should be demoted to the National League. Definitely. Good call. Good call. Right, okay, let's move on to Cucurella. So, Justin, Cucurella close to joining Manchester United on loan. The talks and the deal has advanced today between Manchester United and Chelsea. So, initially, it was thought that Chelsea wanted somewhere in the region of a £7 million fee up front in order for United to take him on loan. We'd gone in there initially with a fee somewhere over £2 million up front, and we've probably met them in the middle somewhere, and it looks like it is going to be advanced in this one. He wants to join us. Last night we obviously heard that he'd agreed to join us in principle, agreed on personal terms, verbally, that kind of thing, and obviously it's down to United to get that agreement in place with Chelsea, and then he would be a player for us for the season. I think it's a brilliant acquisition, as we discussed yesterday, because of the short-term injury crisis that we had very suddenly. You know, it just all seemed to happen all at once. Luke Shaw got injured there, Malacia was injured. If we have any other injury problems in those areas, we would be very much scraping around for a player to go in there and be able to play for us. I think Cucurella's also a good player that could even challenge the players we just mentioned, like Luke Shaw, for a starting place in the side. Okay, last season, not a great season to go on for him at Chelsea, but the season before that, very much an excellent season for Brighton, for Cucurella. Brilliant statistics for the guy throughout the season. And I think he's a very talented player. He's only mid-20s as well. If United could maybe get him with an obligation to buy, or certainly an option to buy for next season, then if he has a good successful time at United, then that could be a good player that we are able to bring in next summer. So I think this is an all-round good, smart bit of business. A lot of the other business we've done this summer is questionable, i.e. Mount is a little bit questionable. Even Onana, the goalkeeper position, wasn't the most important for us, I don't think. I think it's a good signing, though. But some of the transfer deals we've done questionable. But this is not a questionable piece of business. People should be happy about this one, because this guy's coming in for hardly any money. It's just a short-term loan. He gives us cover. I mean, what would you want? To be left without a decent left-back if one more injury occurs? What happens with if Wan-Bissaka or Dalot get injured? Then we've got to play one of those, obviously. Dalot would have to play right back if Wan-Bissaka gets some sort of a knock or an injury. We just need depth to be able to rotate anyway. So I think that Cucurella is an excellent bit of business for United in the short term. It's a really good signing to come in on a loan last minute to be able to cover. That's all it is, guys. It's a cover signing. It's just somebody that's been brought in out of necessity due to injuries. The fee involved, as we mentioned, it's not decided just yet, but it does seem that it'll probably be in between 2 and 7 million. 7 million is what Chelsea wanted. Got a report here that says the initial loan bid was for £2 million for Man United up front. Chelsea wanted £7 million. Chelsea will not receive £7 million. It will be less for Marc Cucurella. So I don't know if it's going to be 4 million, 5 million. But somewhere in the middle makes a lot of sense for that deal to bring him in on a season-long loan capacity. Great bit of business, I think, that one. I do genuinely think that is a good signing, just all things considered with the players and the players that are out injured at the moment. He's somebody that could come in, do a good job for us, and also provide competition for places even when those two players are back fit. Nothing wrong with having extra quality in depth and extra competition for places. So I'm all for it, guys. I'm happy about the Cucurella acquisition if we can bring him in. I still hope that United will maybe go on beyond Cucurella and Amrabat and sign another player or two. I very much doubt that, though. Maybe that does hinge on us getting rid of Scotty McTominay, generating some cash there. There's interest from Bayern, obviously Maguire, Greenwood. These are a couple of saleable players that I guess could foreseeably go before the end of the window, although all of these players I just mentioned are unlikely to be going anywhere. But if they do go, that means we've generated some cash, and maybe we could go and buy a Todibo or buy another number 9 that we desperately need to give us a bit of depth at the top there. Just on the centre-back position, obviously Cucurella coming in does give us a bit of extra centre-back depth also. We've heard that Rafael Varane got very much injured, is very much injured. 6 weeks he's out for. It's a disgrace and a nonsense. Such a paper defender, unfortunately. Always injured. And he's out for 6 weeks. That's a real big problem for us. That means at the moment we're going to have to be playing Lindelof and the Butcher probably. And that's not ideal in itself. But beyond that, I guess once Luke Shaw's back, if we've got Cucurella there, it gives us options. It gives us depth. Luke Shaw can play at centre-back, which he's done for us a handful of times last season and looked good. Certainly a better option than that human ironing board Slabo Maguire. So Luke Shaw could play centre-back, which gives us a little bit of extra depth at centre-back. So Cucurella coming in not only gives us depth at left-back, it also does give us a little bit of extra depth at centre-back, because it means Luke Shaw can play there if you absolutely need him to. Which I think is a smart move. And then beyond that, in terms of the centre-back position, yes, it probably does hinge on Harry Maguire going somewhere, but Jean-Claire Todibo is still being discussed and talked about as a possible player to come in, but it's very unlikely. But here is a report that says that Jean-Claire Todibo has turned down a big offer from Al Ittihad over in Saudi Arabia. He's expected to stay at Nice, even if Manchester United are keeping an eye on him. So we're still keeping an eye on this guy, and he's very much wanted by Ten Hag, it seems. Good young defender over in France. But the thoughts are that, of course, it's down to Maguire staying or going whether or not we could go for Jean-Claire Todibo. So it's not expected that we go and get Jean-Claire Todibo at all, but we are still monitoring that situation just in case maybe somebody comes in for Maguire and Maguire actually decides to go. Don't know if you saw the reports on Maguire earlier on that he's been announced in England's upcoming games over the international break. Gareth Southgate, you're an absolute clunge weasel. Let's get a hashtag Southgate out in the live chat. Never mind Glazer's out for a minute. Let's get a Southgate out. Not a big fan of Southgate myself, guys. I think he has actually done well with the national side in major tournaments and stuff, if what you want is just getting far in the competition. But if you want someone who's got the guts and the glory to go for the win and go for the jugular, he's not your man. He's Mr. Safey twatty bag of Pizza Hut paper bagville. That's the problem with him. So, in regards to what he can, do, he's obviously looks like he's going to select Maguire regardless. I mean, we don't have very many good options at centre-back for England, which means that Harry Maguire is always going to be in contention. Even if he was going to play for Hull City week to week, he'd probably still get in Southgate's team. But Southgate, what an absolute prat. It would have been great if Southgate did not announce him in the side, just simply due to the fact that he's not really been playing and he's not part of United's setup and he's just had a little knock and an injury. If Southgate had done us a favour there and not selected him, that would have probably given Maguire the kick up the ball bag that he needed to realise that he does have to piss off to West Ham or somewhere in order to play next summer. But again, Southgate quite happy just to play Maguire even though he doesn't get regular football. What an absolute joke. The Mog says Maguire doesn't want to take a pay cut, so until a club offers close to 200k, he's going nowhere, says the Mog. Yeah, good shout, but obviously United have the option to pay him off. I personally think that, there's 2 reasons why that Maguire to West Ham deal didn't materialise. It's not down to West Ham not wanting him. They've obviously gone in with a £30 million bid for him and tried to get him in there. It's just Maguire obviously wanted a big payday on the way out there, and I get it. He shouldn't have to get a lot less money just to go and leave Manchester United. If he's on a 200 grand a week deal, he wants that to be honoured over the course of the next few seasons, even if he's at West Ham. But if West Ham were prepared to pay, I don't know what they were prepared to pay, but 140k, 150k, United need to cough up a few £1 million a year for the remainder of his contract at United to get that deal done, which is really not ideal. But you absorb that, and it's a hit. So instead of getting 30 mil, I don't know, you get 22 million or something. You give him an 8 million golden handshake on the way out. But actually, Slabo Maguire seemingly didn't want to go. He's too big time. He's too big bollocks to go to West Ham, and that's what's really materialised there, I think, is that he's not been prepared to go. If he wanted to go and play regular football at West Ham, maybe even gone for a little bit less. I mean, very, very much unlikely that players go anywhere for less money in this day and age. You know what footballers are like. But we could have made up the difference. I think he just doesn't want to go and play for West Ham because he's too big bollocks and thinks he's actually a top-tier player and maybe wants to get into United's side. Very rarely do you hear of players going to play for other teams for less money. I seem to remember, actually, Arsenal scummer manager Mikel Arteta, when he was at Everton, this is a long time ago now, but when he was at Everton, I seem to remember he signed for Arsenal and he ended up receiving £16,000 a week less to go and play for Arsenal. He actually took a pay cut to go and play for Arsenal instead of Everton. It's very rare that these things happen, but it does happen occasionally. I guess that's a little bit different because at the time, obviously, Everton, not as good as a club as Arsenal, so he saw the opportunity in front of him to go and play for a better team and wanted to go and play even for less money. Big up Mikel Arteta on that one, to be fair. Very rare. I have to go back 15 years or 10 years or whatever just to be able to find an example. It's very much not the most common thing that happens. Mostly players want exactly what they want. They get as much as they can possibly get, and most of the time they follow the money. Just look at Saudi Arabia. That's a fine example of what's going on. Players follow the money in this day and age. Even Neymar, who had the potential to go on and be one of the best players in the game for his generation, has decided at 31 years of age to piss off to Saudi for the cash. So, there's lots of examples of players following the money, not so many examples of players who are prepared to play football for less money. But I think that it's down to Maguire being greedy, Maguire also not being prepared to give back a little bit to Manchester United. He could have quite easily decided that, yeah, I'm going to go play regularly at West Ham, even if it's for a tiny little bit less money, just to give something back to United after they've paid £80 million for me and given me a couple £100,000 a week and put a lot of faith in me, even though I'm shite. He could have done that, but no, he's greedy and he wants what he wants. He wants what he thinks he deserves. Now, what he really deserves is a punch in the teeth. That's what he really deserves. He doesn't deserve £200,000 a week. But hey, look, that's the way it is. Hey guys, check that out. We've smashed a new mini milestone on the channel. Thank you everyone for hitting that subscribe button. Yes, guys, 73,602 subscribers now part of the Bacon Brigade. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do hit that subscribe. Don't miss out on the latest news. We cover all the latest United news here in a no bullshit fashion. There's no clickbait guff going on here, guys. There's no spewing out 6 videos a day about nonsense for the sake of it, for clicks. No, we cover the latest business here in a no bullshit fashion. So if you're enjoying the show, if you want to get involved, you can by hitting the subscribe button down below. That's the red one that says subscribe. Make sure you drop a like as well. That helps the stream out, boosts us up in the algorithm. And you can give us a share around on Twitter, pinned to the top of the live chat. Nice one. Okay, so just to bring it back to Cucurella for a second. Cucurella is expected to be the next Manchester United player. Very soon this could be announced. The deal is close. It's a loan deal, somewhere in the region of £2 to £6 or £7 million fee, probably more likely £4 or £5 million fee up front for a season-long loan, perhaps including an option to buy for Manchester United at the end of the season. This is a no-risk deal for United. It is a classic Glazer shithouse, cheap-out, cheapo move deal, but essentially it is a smart move. It's just a player to come in and help us in the short term. We've got Malacia and Luke Shaw out for the next 6 weeks, perhaps even longer. So, obviously, a heck of a lot of time could surpass there without a proper left-back. So, bringing Cucurella in is a very smooth move, I think, right now, particularly on loan. And it's good for the player as well. He's not going to get a lot of opportunities there at Chelsea, clearly, which is why they're prepared to let him go. He had a poor time of it last season, but the season before that, excellent at Brighton. This is a good opportunity for him to sort of revitalise his career, isn't it? Exactly. Yeah, it's a decent loan considering the injuries at United. Precisely. Obviously, we wouldn't have been doing this if Luke Shaw and Malacia were both fit right now. I think that's obvious. But because they're not, this is a good move. It is actually a good move for us. 189 likes, the Mustard says. That's awesome, guys. Keep hitting the thumbs ups. We're nearly at 200 likes. That is excellent. Thank you so much. Andrew Giggs says, Piggy, there is news coming out. Donny van de Beek is here we go. Are you serious? Hang on. So the latest I saw on Donny, let me pop that up on screen. Where's that from? Are you taking the piss? This is what Fabrizio Romano said about Donny van de Beek. So unless there's something that's come out in the last few minutes, maybe you're taking the piss. But this is what Fab said about Donny just before I went live. This was tweeted out just before I went live. He said that Donny van de Beek now still assessing options for the next move. He's expected to leave as many clubs show interest, but he's never negotiated with Lorient or Genoa. Man United rejected a final approach from Real Sociedad for Donny. Amrabat keeps waiting for United. So I'm pretty sure that is not a here we go situation, mate. Unless something else has come out in the time being, but I'm pretty sure this just indicates that he's expected to go. There's nothing that's been formalised or anything just yet. There's a couple of different teams interested in him. Looks like the Sociedad move will not materialise. So I think it's more likely, you know, that we find out the next day between now and the end that he goes. But I expect Donny van de Beek probably will go. He knows that he's not going to get chances at United, particularly with a player like Sofian Amrabat about to come in as well. The opportunities there at United are going to be lessened even more so for him. So yeah, I think you're probably onto something there. It does look like he probably will go, but I don't think there's a here we go situation just yet. Zayn Miyassi, what's going on, Zayn? How you doing, my friend? Thank you very much for joining us and getting in here with a super chat. Mr. Miyassi, come on, let's get some super chat emojis in for him. He says, put a wage cap on players. Piggy, honest score prediction this weekend. Zayn Miyassi, thank you very much. Look, I actually agree with what you're saying. There should be a wage cap on players. I don't see why players should be, you know, it should just be an escalating thing over every single season that ends up just being ridiculous. You got nurses paid 24 grand a year or whatever they are. You know, it's an absolute travesty that footballers get what they get, to be honest. And it's just going in one way. In fact, what would happen if you don't put a global wage cap on players is that it's just going to end up being a monopoly for whichever league is prepared to pay the most. You've got Saudi Arabia, who are prepared to pay players like, you know, 200 million a year. That's what I've heard Karim Benzema is subject to sort of make over there. All things considered, with percentages of image rights and all sorts of things, he could be on 200 million a year, 200 million euros a year, which is just absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. Unbelievable. And how can you compete with that in the future? I mean, in 5-6 years' time, everybody could be playing in Saudi Arabia because, crikey, the money is just too good to turn down for a lot of these people. I agree there should be some sort of international wage cap on players before things get too ridiculous and too outrageous and then all of the leagues are just watered down. I get it. Look, it's a capitalistic society. It's the market is there. It's set by, you know, the interest, and it's set by the landscape of what is, you know, prepared to be spent by all these different leagues. But it's going to have a knock-on effect globally where Premier League teams and all other teams around the world are going to have to like keep up with the Joneses, i.e. keep up with the Saudi Arabian league in order to just get players to stay, and it's just going to keep snowballing. And I think you're absolutely right, there should be a wage cap on players, but the only way a wage cap actually works is if there's a wage cap across the board in every single league around the world. That's the only way that it works, because there's no point putting like a Premier League wage cap on or a La Liga wage cap on or anything like that, because then all of the players are going to filter out of the league over the next coming seasons and end up in Saudi Arabia or end up where there is no wage cap. So there has to be like a global wage cap. I think that would be the best bet, and it should happen, to be fair. It's just things are just getting ridiculous. There's no way that these players need to make the money that they make, and that 200 million a year is justifiable for any player. It's absolutely mental. I mean, look, some players aren't interested in the money. I mean, you've seen Kylian Mbappe was offered the opportunity to go and play in Saudi Arabia earlier on this summer transfer window. And if you believe some of the reports, he could have made like 700 million a year there. I find that hard to believe, but if those reports were true, just think about that for a second. That's not 25 million a year, which is what the top tier players make in Europe. 700 million a year. So if it's going in that direction, then it does have the potential to ruin football and water down all the leagues. There needs to be a permanent cap put in all around the world, I think, for it to happen. Hey, thank you very much for getting in here with a super chat as well, Mr. Dresden Shuffle. Thank you so much, Dresden Shuffle. He says, Chelsea paid out Potter, who ended up costing them 20 million, but United won't spend money terminating Sabbath's contract. Make it make sense. Dresden Shuffle, okay, but you know, there's no benefit to United terminating Harry Maguire's contract, though. Listen, I want Maguire out, bud. Of course I do. But this is what happens if Man United terminate Maguire's contract. If we pay him out, pay out the rest of his contract, he could just go and join West Ham for free. And if you're talking about just paying him out in order to go and sign for West Ham after they wanted to pay 30 million for us, then fair enough. But, you know, I agree, take the hit, but also he didn't really necessarily want to join West Ham, it seems. That's the problem there. So I don't think it's as simple as, oh, United didn't want to pay him 12 mil to go. I think it's more of a case of Maguire didn't want to go to West Ham because he's a Billy Big Bollocks and thinks he's actually a Man United player. So I don't know, but I know what you're saying. We could easily just get rid of this guy, take the hit. Let's say West Ham pay 30 million for him and we have to pay him 12 mil to go. Then we pocket 18 million. That's better than kicking the anus. But maybe it's just a case of, oh, United may be better off having him as a backup, somebody that can be an option to play. I don't think so. But maybe that's what Ten Hag thinks, rather than having to then go out there, spend another 30 million on somebody like Jean-Claude Todibo to replace. Obviously, I'd prefer that. But I do understand that there's not much value in a deal for Maguire to West Ham if we've got to give him 12 mil. But I think Maguire, it's a combination of Maguire being too greedy, United not wanting to get bent over, and Maguire thinking that he's actually a top-tier player. That's what I think it is. Thank you very much, Zane, for another super chat here, Zane. He says, Saudi might buy the YouTube channels up. Shake Piggy, here we go. Lawrence of Arabia, remake with Piggy. Says, yes, I'm all for it, mate, to be honest. You know, I'll take that. I'll take that Saudi gold, mate. No worries. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it, Zane. As long as I can still keep doing what I'm doing here, as it is a passion of mine and I enjoy doing it, you know, I'll quite happily take the cash. You know what I'm saying? Come at me, Saudi. Come at me, Saudis. Let's go. I'll quite happily have this channel sponsored by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Thank you, Zayn Miassi. I appreciate it for getting in here. To be fair, I've already got a sugar daddy, and his name is Zayn Miassi. Zayn Miassi with another super chat here. Thank you very much. He says, the money that Saudi spends is from oil and belongs to the people, not the royal family, says Zayn Miassi. Zayn Miassi, what are you getting political for in here for, lad? You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, it doesn't belong to the people if the royal family have the money and if the Saudi oil barons have the money, mate. So, you know, as much as you're right, okay, fair enough. But that's just capitalistic pigs for you, isn't it, my son? Think about just everything. You know, everything. It's down to, oh, who owns this land? Who owns that? Where is this stuff mined from? It's like, you know, the people, the landowners. You know, come on, you're talking guff there, Zayn Miassi, lad. You're getting too political for your own good now, lad. Wind your neck in, bud. But no, fair enough. But crikey, what? I mean, who cares? I was just going to say that. Zayn Miassi, you know, I'm not getting into that. This is a football channel, mate. It's a football channel. Okay, thank you very much there, Zayn Miassi, though. I appreciate it. Right, let me just move on with a couple of bits and bobs of information we've got about some more transfer dealings. Then I'm going to have to go over to Twitter, shout out everyone that's retweeted us, and get into the Q&A for a few mins. So everyone, thank you for being here. Keep liking the video. Keep subscribing to the channel if you're new to the channel. We have hit another milestone, 73,606 subscribers. So get in there and subscribe to the channel if you're new. That way you can chat and have your say. Very quickly, let's move on to some of the other little topics that we've got. So, look, we've heard Todibo's turned down Saudi Arabia. So maybe there is a possibility that United could go and get him if Maguire's still sold. Very unlikely. We also know that Donny van der Beek is now assessing his next move of where to possibly go. There's a couple of different clubs interested. Apparently he's never negotiated with Lorient or Genoa. And Man United have rejected a final approach from Real Sociedad for Donny. Now, I think that's probably a loan with an option to buy type deal, which is why United are not interested. So if it was a decent 15 or 20 million pound permanent transfer offer, we'd have probably let him go, to be fair, because he is just surplus. And he's not realistically expected to play. The other little news of the day is that Dean Henderson is close to signing for Crystal Palace. In fact, it's obviously done, but Crystal Palace are expected to unveil Dean Henderson as a new signing today after the medical's completed, and Man United will receive £15 million plus £5 million add-ons. That's a great deal for United. And Altay Bayender is now close to set to sign to Manchester United as well. He's in Manchester and he will become Dean Henderson's replacement, backup essentially. We heard yesterday Andre Onana recalled to the Cameroon squad, had a falling out with Rigobert Song, but now he's obviously patched things up, it seems, and he's back on the international stage for them, which is bad news for United because it means in January he could be away for the Africa Cup of Nations, which is an absolute nightmare. And then finally, guys, I mean, Beats Guy came in here at the start of the show and alluded to it as well, that there was a potential deal on the table to Luton Town. But we've got a report from Rich Fay here that says that Ted Mengi and Charlie McNeil are likely to leave Manchester United on loan before the deadline. So a couple of players still going out, it looks like, for United also. Probably mostly loan deals. There's still 3 big bollocks players we could sell before the end of the window. The most likely being Scott McTominay. There's some interest to Bayern. I guess Maguire, if he realises that he's not going to play play much and maybe just bucks his ideas up and wants to go and play regularly somewhere else. And then I guess Mason Greenwood is still on the cards. We heard yesterday maybe Besiktas were exploring the possibility of signing him. He's a player that's definitely not going to be playing for Manchester United, so he's just an asset that's sat there diminishing now. So surely we're trying our very utmost to try and get rid of him. But it does depend on, is there a team out there prepared to actually go and bring in Mason Greenwood at this time? So there you go. So it looks like there's a few players that are on the way out. Ted and Mengi, Charlie McNeil likely to leave. Could be a permanent transfer, could be a loan. There's obviously some information that's coming out. Thank you, Must Places. Mengi is getting sold, not loaned. Thank you. So some information coming out during this show, I think, about that, which I haven't actually seen. But somebody mentioned it at the start of the show that Mengi was going to Luton, was it? So there you go. Thanks for the update there. Okay, I'm going to just do a rundown of what we discussed very quickly throughout this show for anybody who's getting in here. Then I'm going to get into the live chat for a Q&A and shout out all the retweeters. So at the top of the show, guys, for anybody who missed the start, Man United working on the Amrabat deal. There is a hope that this deal can be done before the end of the deadline, of course. Man United are working on a deal. This is as per David Ornstein, who says that we hope to take Fiorentina midfielder on loan rather than a permanent deal due to FFP. Ryan Gravenberch is among the targets as well, but the Morocco international is the top target, and he obviously wants the move to Manchester United. Di Marzio over in Italy are reporting that they're not too keen on the deal. They're not too keen on a loan move. Perhaps this is just part of a negotiation for a bigger permanent transfer. Let's hope so. So still very much likely that we can bring this guy in before the end of the window. Still a few hoops to jump through. United shouldn't have to worry too much about the finances, but this is the Glazer shithouses we're talking about. Loads of outlets say that this is getting closer. Sky Sports reporting that we're working on this deal as well. Samuel Luckhurst says we are exploring the possibility as well of trying to get a late deal for Sofian Amrabat before the window closes, so great news there. Fab has said as well that this guy is not featuring for Fiorentina at the moment, so his head's obviously clearly on joining Manchester United. He wants us, and Fiorentina probably want to get shot of him ASAP because they're going to have a one-to-way player on their hands if not. Fabrizio says that Sofian Amrabat, again, won't be part of Fiorentina's squad for the game versus Rapid Vienna. Decision's been made. Man United are trying to get him, obviously, and he won't train with the first-team squad or play for them at all until this is wrapped up, until this is decided. He only wanted to wait for Manchester United since the end of June. I love that, by the way. So there's been a whole host of teams that are interested in him, and he clearly just wants Manchester United. He's been holding out for us. He wants Ten Hag, he wants United, Champions League, Premier League. He knows the opportunity in front of him to play at United. So I love that. All I want at United is players who want to play for United. I don't want players who are coming for a payday or the money or to be a Billy Big Bollocks and have the stature or the ego. I want players to come and play because they want to play for Ten Hag and United. And this guy seems to fit the bill there. So get in there, my son. Amrabat, man, is on his way potentially. We have to wait and see if there can be a deal struck between the two sides. Either a loan or a permanent transfer at the moment looks quite likely. So we'll see what happens. But at the moment, yes, looking likely, guys. It's getting closer. Get in there, my son. And then on Cucurella, let's move on to Cucurella. If you missed that, Cucurella's close to signing for United in a loan move as well. He wants to play for us. Agreed yesterday, personal terms, in principle anyway, before the teams can reach an agreement. But at the moment, it does look like Cucurella's very close to joining us. There's advanced talks taking place today between Manchester United and Chelsea for the season-long loan of Cucurella. And he is expected and ready to join Manchester United very soon. Could even be today, tonight, tomorrow. Very soon, Cucurella could be wrapped up and done. Get in there, my son. The amount of money involved for that is expected to be about 4 or 5 million. The initial offer from United included an initial season-long loan fee of £2 million, round about there. Chelsea were holding out for about 7, so probably somewhere in the middle of that is what we're going to end up paying as a fee, and as an initial fee to bring in Cucurella for the season. Just other than that as well, you know, Todibo's rejected a chance to go and play for Al Ittihad over in Saudi Arabia. There's still a slight link with United, dependent on if we can sell Maguire. Very unlikely at this stage. And then, as I said, Donny van der Beek assessing his situations at the moment for a new possible move. Looks like Mengi and McNeil could be on their way out of the football club before the end of the window. And Palace about to unveil Dean Henderson. That's the latest transfer news, guys, of the day. Time to get into the live chat. Thank you all for being here and having your say throughout the show as well. Now to get into the Q&A for 5-10 minutes. And I'm just going to go and shout out everyone who's retweeted us. Thanks for retweeting us, guys. Does help the channel out big time. We've had 26 retweets. Thank you so much there. Guy Am Legend, really do appreciate you reposting us there. We've also got 25 retweets there. Stephen Braun, Aaron Homeyard, Compost Smurf, The Goat, Kieran, Feline Fur, John Boy Cat, Dave Jason, D Tycoon, Duncan Belifo, MUFC Brummy Reds, Vincent Bullock, Mr. Sims, Jarvis Cocker, Sin Games, Boomy, Michael Paul, Jim D64, Francois Cock, Raj, J United in Gaming, Tommy Boyle, Sir Tanky, Chris Foy, and John T72. Thank you so much to all you legends for retweeting the show, guys. I really do appreciate it. That helps us out big time. Right, guys, subscribe to the channel, get in the chat, smash the likes on it, get your thoughts and opinions in. I'm going to stay on here for 5 minutes with your with the latest comments from you. See what you're saying about yourself. Great point, Piggy. Player with a passion. I'm still waiting for the call myself. I'll play for £1,000 a week. And that's only because Maguire's still there. Get in there, Ronster. Exactly. I'd rather you than slapping Maguire, Ronster. I've never seen you play, bud. That's what I'm saying. We want players with passion, don't we? Players with passion. Van der Beek. Elliot Manduna, what's going on, bro? I guess so, Henry. Who knows? I mean, we've had a bit of a ropey start. Kind of good. We managed to get 6 points out of the first possible 9, really, with how we've played. We've not been amazing. But it is quite unpredictable. The more good players we can bring in between now and deadline day, the more likeliness that we have of having a good season. We still do not have the squad capable of really challenging, though. We'd have had to have done a lot more transfer business. It's still a very mediocre looking window, even with Cucurella and Amrabat coming in. Should be looking at doing a permanent swap deal to get rid of that slabby prick. So true. What's up there, Lucky Singh? Yeah, not too bad, King Boomy. Not too shabby, mate. Not too shabba-labba, lad. Thanks for asking. Andrew says, question, P. Don't you think a salary cap with performance-based bonus would be a good idea? Definitely, Andrew. Yeah, and that means that Harry Maguire would get £2.50 a week, mate. You know what I'm saying? If it was performance-based. Not sure about the signings, says Claire Farrell. I think Amrabat's a good quality, good standard signing for us, and I do think Cucurella's an excellent loan. Mason Mount, I hold my reservations about, to be honest, especially for 60 million. Don't think that's a really great deal. Onana's good. Rasmus Højlund, time will tell on that one, but I think he's going to be a good player for us. Thank you very much, Butter. Says, I love the new graphics like Adam West Batman. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the man, Wonton Doodle, a.k.a. Mass. Check out his channel in the description there for doing us the thumbnails. Absolutely a legend. Appreciate the help, really, really do. And now we've got a new look to the channel. It's bloody raw. Love it. Who did Tottenham get next in the cup, says Adam Cavani. Get in there, my son. Spurs in the shit. Fulham doing the business in the penalty shootout, lad. Come on, let's go. The Foss Way says, afternoon, Pig. Hope you're well, mate. Uploaded my first vid on YouTube last week. You're my inspiration. Busy end to the transfer window for both our clubs, brother. Hey, check out the Foss Way, guys. Get in there, my son. I really do appreciate that, man. I'm glad to inspire, mate. That's what I do. That's what Piggy does. He inspires and he motivates, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, the Foss Way, and yeah, check out the Foss Way, guys, on YouTube, man. Give him a watch, give him a chance. About time we have a positive result against a top 6 side away from home this weekend, says Brian Foskett. Jamza says, Mount's your best signing. Jamza, Chelsea's coming getting in here. Incorrect, lad. He's gash. Well, I don't know. Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance. Look, I don't want to write him off too soon, but £60 million is a gash signing for Mount. 30 million, I'm all for it. But 60 million, that's crazy. Madison for 40 million makes a mockery of Mount for 60 million. Those are the facts. Højlund out until October. I don't know about that must play. We've got to wait and see. Loads of speculative stuff coming out about Højlund. Will he be back for the Arsenal game? Will he be back after the international break? Let's have a look. Hey, Tommy Boyle, thank you for getting in and thanks for sharing the show, lad. Get in there. I was saying yesterday that I've been playing a lot of darts, mate. I'm shit at darts. I'm going to have to give you a game online at some point, lad. Thanks again for the dartboard, mate. You're an absolute hero. And the darts. What a bloody hero. He says, listening in, dude. Been driving, so couldn't be in the chat. Maguire knows with injuries to Varane, he'll get game time like last season, I reckon, Southgate time. Maybe so. I think certainly for the next 6 weeks, you might see Maguire getting some game time. That's a fair point, Tommy Boyle, lad. Okay, we are bringing in Cucurella and Luke Shaw can play at centre-back, but he's injured at the moment. Beyond that, we've got Lindelof, we've got Evans. Maguire probably will get some game time right at the moment, won't he? Exactly, Compost Smurf. I agree. We should be getting him. Ruddy Can't Game. Thank you for the $3 super chat there, bro. I do appreciate that, Ruddington. Let's be having you. Guys, how you doing, Ruddy? He says, watching from work. That's the way to do it, mate. Skive hard, play hard. That's our motto. Don't work when you can be watching this video. You know what I'm saying? Good shout, Ruddy. Thank you, Ruddy. I hope you're doing well, you legend. How's things with you, bro? And thanks for the $3 super sticker from work there, my son. What a legend. Get in there, my lad. Hope you're doing well, bud. Ronster says, if we got rid of Maguire, then we would not need to employ the 42 mental health officers we currently employ. Great shout. And we could go and get a replacement like Todibo, and then our defensive depth is much better. You want Stoke to get either Port Vale or Man United in the next round? Go on then, my son. Let's bash up the Potters. We need Amrabat now. We're working on it. It's getting closer, it seems. Yeah, he's an English player. We had to pay that premium, I suppose, but we still overpaid for Mount. 30 million player at tops, I reckon. Only son I was happy with was Onana. Yeah, fair enough. Looks a good player. He wasn't exactly necessary until we kicked out De Gea. That's true. The cheaper, better option, maybe in some ways, would have maybe been to just sign up De Gea to a new deal, and then we've got extra money to go and spend on an outfield player. So I am a little bit, confused about that. But I think Onana is exactly what Ten Hag wants. You've got to let him build his side, obviously, stylistically. Maybe Matthew Smith. I don't know. He might be. He's definitely going to be on with me tomorrow. We're going to do a show tomorrow, lad. Defensive's completely gashed, says Claire Farron. Needs some depth. With injury issues, it is a problem. Breadsticks United. Jay says Mount needs to play right wing. We would be our current best right wing. Not saying he's world class. I disagree with you, Jay, but thank you for your comment. I don't really think that's true. You suspect Maguire's the guy injuring Shaw and Varane so he could play? Maybe so. He's chucked a tin of Frey Bentos at Luke Shaw's head when he wasn't looking. Knighted, we stand watching and work, and you're a legend there, my son. We want both Sof and Amrabat. Yes, indeed. Worried if we can concede 2 at home to Forest and no Varane, it's not looking good. Very true, Claire. No, the defence is ropey. You are right. It is a problem. And the finishing is a problem. We need Rasmus to get into the side. Piggy, can you answer me why the Glazers are such smeg heads? Well, they don't invest in the side. They bought the club with debt money. We're still in more debt than they bought us with. They've serviced that debt. They've hindered and shackled Manchester United. They don't care about the club. They just care about the money. Those are the biggest reasons. They don't invest in the facilities, the stadium, the players properly. It's a disgrace. Piggy, Fiorentina rejected Man United's loan deal for Amrabat. Thank you, Andrew Giggs. Well, yes, this is what Gianluca Di Marzio said. We've already discussed this throughout this video, but thank you for that. Good evening and watching from Nigeria. Get in there, Emmanuel Effiong. Thank you for watching from Nigeria. Big up yourself. Yeah, no, they won't, salty waves there. Get that human smeg of a fridge out of our club. Marcia Varane, Iron Phil Jones. Bunk in the physio room. Good shout. Exactly. Tommy Boy said lots of technique videos on YouTube to help improve your throw. Yes, that's what I'm going to get on, mate. 100%, because I am gash. Basically, when I'm aiming for like treble 20 or whatnot, it just basically goes somewhere on the board. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely going to be practicing, lad. Not later on, but soon after the transfer window is finished, I will be back to playing video games, Gregory, lad. Yes, sirree. Yeah. Right, okay. Guys, I'm basically going to have to wrap this video up now. I've got to pick my sister up from the train station. So I'm going to wrap this video up now. But thank you, every single one of you legends, for getting in here and chatting with me. Come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. Amrabat, Cucurella, any other possible ins and outs. Come back after this video is finished. Get your thoughts and opinions in about Amrabat and everything we've talked about. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Great stream. Great chat, as always. I do appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. That's the red one down below that says subscribe. Samuel Mayner's just subscribed. Be like Samuel Mayner and hit that subscribe button. Also, drop a like before you go. It's free to like, so make sure you leave a like on the video before you go. Subscribe, click the bell icon as well to be notified when we post and go live. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com, for your latest Man United news and stuff as well. Thank you, Samuel, for subscribing. Yes, Jamsa, get in there, my son. Check out the Clips channel, Flying Pig United Extra. Go and click that link. I'll pin it to the top of the live chat. So if you're new to this channel and you're not subscribed to the Extra Clips channel, it's at the top of the chat now. I just pinned it. There it is right there. Go and click that link and subscribe to Flying Pig United Extra. It's a Clips channel with extra content. Go over there and subscribe. Legend Jamsa. Get in there, everyone. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Elliot, Duncan, Gungshi, absolute legends. We will be back tonight at 10 p.m. If there's any breaking news, big breaking news, thank you, Singates. If there's any big breaking news, we'll, of course, jump on before that and give you the latest updates with the breaking news. But if not, we'll be definitely on at 10 p.m. tonight for another show, evening show, running down all the latest United news of the afternoon and evening. That's it from me, guys. Cucurella and it seems like Amrabat, the most likely players to be signed now between now and the end of the transfer window. Get in there, my son. We need more, of course. We need more. Thank you, J United. Yes, check out the Clips channel. We need more, but for now, it's better than a kick in the anus. Thanks for watching, everyone. Come back and have your say after. That's it from me. Check out the links in the description for the social media accounts. Flying Pig United on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch and Kick. All links down below. And I'll catch you later tonight. I will do Sing Games. Thank you so much, you absolute Don Dada. See you in a bit, legends. That's it from me. Have a great day. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.